Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of episode 127, the final part here of this G1 Climax of 2027. 24 days had come and gone. Last time you saw us here as far as this G1 Climax, as now we go through the back half, the final part, as far as each block has 3 shows left. So of course a little quick math, as a little 12 days left of the actual block matches. Then we'll have the semifinal night and then the finals to determine who will go on to win the 2027 G1 Climax. As far as the standings, again, to remind everybody, Block A, it is a very, very tight race, with Pac leading with 9 points thanks to a draw with the IWGP Heavyweight Champion Hiromu Takahashi. Cody Umeda's behind him with 8, and then you see Hiromu and Zack Sabre Jr. with 7. It's funny that they have a draw, but it's not against each other. They have yet to face off against each other, so we'll see how that plays out. Okada with 6, so is the Great Okan. He also has 6. 5 points for Jonathan Gresham, and 4 points for Juice Robinson, Takuya Nomura, and Yota Tsuji. I would say it's still anybody's block for sure, even with the 3 nights left. For Block B, it is a 3-way tie for first, it being Tyler Black, Fulter, and Will Hobbs. So you have the U.S. champion, the Neverweight champion, and then Tyler Black in there, all tied. And for Tyler Black, he's got the tiebreaker, as far as he's beaten both Fulter and Will Hobbs. So both of those men are got to hope for a loss, but for Tyler Black here in the next couple of days. So he's taking on Alex Coughlin, Tamura, and Katsuki Nakajima. So it definitely can still happen for sure. For Fulter, though, and Will Hobbs, they face each other. So we'll see who is the better champion of the two. It's crazy that it's then a major jump down from 10 to 6 with Hada Tamura with 6 points. I mean, he's got a chance to finish with 10 points for sure, but I don't think he's got a real great chance of winning this block. Something would have to go terribly wrong for him to win it. As far as... yeah, like both guys, all 3 of them would have to just end up losing outright. Like Coughlin would have to beat Tyler Black and Fulter, while Tamura gets wins. Also, Will Hobbs will have to lose to Evil and to Pentagon Jr. And then somehow, as far as no matter what happens with Fulter and Will Hobbs, someone's going to get a point, even if it's a draw. Both guys will get a point. So he'll need a lot of luck, that is for sure, to be able to make it that far. But I mean, I guess he could finish with, as far as with 12. And then Hobbs and Fulter and Tyler Black, Tyler Black goes winless. Fulter loses out his 2 out of 3. Same thing for Will Hobbs, and then they draw. I guess that technically he could win it that way, but that would be pretty fucking insane. But I guess you never know. As far as Tamura does at least control his destiny as far as taking on Tyler Black, he could beat him. So as far as from that perspective, I guess he has a chance, but... yeah, a lot of things would have to go his way. If he wins this block, he should better off go out and get some lottery tickets at this rate, because that is one lucky son of a bitch. That is for sure. For Block C, though, we have an injured Shinsuke Nakamura, unfortunately. It sucks that he only has 2 points when he got injured, because that really is going to change the block a whole lot. It's crazy the Intercontinental Champion only has 4 points, and Konosuke Takeshita. Jay White has 8 points, of course. Him, Shota Umino, and Leona Fujinami are behind the leaders of this block in La Sombra and Rush. As far as I would still again say it's anybody's block for sure. Obviously, with the kind of forfeit losses to Sombra, Fujinami, Rush, and Shingo, and Shota Umino, it's kind of thrown the block out a little bit out of whack. But at the same time, though, it's kind of crazy that Shinsuke Nakamura's only win is against Rey Fenix. And, Rey Fenix obviously was looking to make a deep run in this block, and that loss is definitely going to fuck things up for him. For Block D, we have another injury as well with Satoru Ashino, which that one sucks. Ashino was really cooking for sure. It sucks that he only had 5 points, too, at the point where he was injured at. He had 3 matches left. Of course, this was, right at the end of the last part. As Ashino, with his 5 points. Only Miro with 10 points, but, Claudio Castagnoli and Daniel Makabe, Claudio Castagnoli and Jon Moxley, rather, are right behind him with 9 points. Brody King has 8. 6 points for Calvin Tankman and Daniel Makabe. 5 points for Kenta. Oh, and Ryu Lee also has 6 points. I missed him. And then Tetsuya Naito with 2 points. So out of the entire 40 men rather, of each block, they all have a point. So at least someone has been successful at some point in time during this tournament. There's still, as far as for Naito, it's funny that his loss to Shino is ended up going to cost him out on 2 points, because obviously they already faced off. But, some guys, he's the only one. I don't know, there's, I was about to say he's the only one, him and Brody King. They have one less day than everybody else. So everybody else still has to wrestle 3 times. So they have that advantage, at least. As we'll see if Brody King's able to capitalize with that and maybe potentially catapult his way over what is now his former House of Torture brethren in Miro, who's part of now the Monstars University. So, as far as that is where we're at for the tournament, now we're going to actually cut the part here as far as the little intro's done, because now we're going to jump into running the 25th day of the G1 Climax, as we're going to have the kind of the same idea that we had the last part where we ran the show. We didn't really go through the booking stuff, but we're at least going to try to give a little bit more insight too. I know it was hard to kind of have so much insight and thought and going into stuff when you have 20, and we ran 24 shows. So a lot of it can get a bit daunting, but I think we can do it here for this, for the second part. And plus, we have a lot of, big things happening with it coming up towards the end of the tour. But there's still some big matches left, obviously. That Walter-Will Hobbs match is going to be really, really good. As, yes, especially for the battle between those two giant men. But yeah, on to day 25. Away you go. Alrighty, so the opening contest here for day 25 is it's Kawato and Kurashio taking on Dragonbane and Flyer. So obviously the as far as the Bomb Squad team getting the win there, and they were the better team, so I'm glad that happened too. But Kawato gets the win with the Kawato clutch over Dragonbane in 10:22. As the 72 though, it was actually not a bad little opener. The Great Okan of Monstars University there, as you see now they have a logo, as they get the win as far as the Great Okan over Jonathan Gresham, even though Jonathan Gresham almost in the 90s, because this is of course Tactical Masterclass matchup, but a good little matchup. The 79, I wish it was a little bit better, but, as far as Okan getting the win probably is why that rating was so bad, but we'll take it. As far as at least nobody got hurt, or it wasn't something like this where we knew it was going to be, an awkward bout, so he kept it short, which might have been a mistake, but Pac losing here to Juice Robinson, the Pulp Friction, in 11-12. Basically, the idea is we're selling the point of, after the right hand, and the Pulp Friction gets knocked out after the right hand, so maybe even have, Pac sell it like he, as far as drops down to his knees and face first bump, or, flat face first bump, lifts him back up like he's dead weight for the Pulp Friction, nails it in 1, 2, 3, to really put it over, he knocks him out with it, and really it puts it over as also kind of like an out-of-nowhere thing as well. But another 79 there. 77 for Yota Tsuji and Takuya Nomura as a spear. Yota Tsuji, that's 2 points for him, as both men not even in the 70s, but at least the match itself got a 77. Co-main event, Kota Umeda and Kazuchika Okada, as Kota Umeda beats Okada with the Fisherman Buster in 21:39. It's an 89 for Kota Umeda. What a performance there. It's Okada with a 74. Tough break there. It's a 91 though for our main event, and it's a time limit draw between the two men here in Hiromu and Zack Sabre Jr. Funny enough, of course, they both already had a draw going into this match. So now they're going to have an even amount of points. So that's going to throw the block back into kind of normalcy for a little bit. Pac is obviously still going to be out of his element, as far, or not out of his element, is going to be kind of out of sorts still because of his. And as far as for Zack, though, and Hiromu, 1 point each in a crucial, 1 point for each man. I mean, it's really going to come down to the end here as far as for whoever's going to come out on the winning end of this. It really is going to come down to it. Now that, because, Gresham, I don't know if it's going to matter towards the end. Maybe it will, but right now it seems like it's not going to matter. But, for Pac, losing the Juice Robinson, too, definitely is going to throw things of sorts, and definitely want to put over, though, Hiromu and Zack Sabre Jr. for their matchup. They did great, and Kota Umeda as well did tremendous tonight. As now, we go to day 26 to see how Block B does for their first match of this part. And I'm hoping for a banger, though. It should be. You know, Block B's been pretty kind. They've had some good matches throughout the tournament so far. And I'm sure we'll have a good little show here as well. Alrighty, so day 26, we have, as far as a sold-out Nagano Olympic Memorial Arena here, 20,000 people, as we have a Tokyo Cyber Squad. There's 4 horsewomen tag matchup here, as we are having on the New Japan Strong taping that's happening coming up this Wednesday, so it'll be week 2 of August. On Wednesday, we're going to have, as far as the quarterfinals, or actually, no, the semifinals, rather, excuse me, on that side of the bracket, as it will be Hana Komura and Starlight Kid versus Ashley Flair, and as well as also Becky Knockout Quinn. As I believe that is now I'm kind of second guessing if that is in fact it. I'm pretty sure it is. But as far as Toni Storm and BB Crawford here getting the win over Andreas Miyagi and Rina, as Toni Storm with a strong 0 over Andreas Miyagi, as Miyagi losing here, even though she did pretty well actually in 68. She outperformed BB Crawford, but she didn't outperform Toni Storm. But yeah, it was a good match. It's good, better than the last opener. It's 82 for Pentagon Jr. and Roderick Strong, as they have pretty good chemistry. That makes sense. I would say stylistically, they could have a good match. As far as Pentagon Jr. and Roderick Strong, cross armbar for Pentagon Jr. though gets the win in 23:04. So nice 2 points there. And a good match. Alex Coughlin and Lee Moriarty. This is the Steel Show matchup as Coughlin beats Lee Moriarty with a deadlift German suplex in 13:28. Great victory there. Tough break for Lee Moriarty to have an 83 and lose, but a big win for Alex Coughlin. Though, in the hand of tomorrow, beating Evil with the just face lock in 23:52. He was really off his game, so this would have been even better. Kind of crazy. Evil almost outperformed him because of it, but yeah, this actually now is, so far, that's been the worst thing, at least on the block section of the show, on the card. So hopefully we get something better, and we absolutely do, with Tyler Black and Katsuhiko Nakajima. It's a 28-minute matchup here, Tyler Black beating Nakajima with a curve stomp. Very, very fun match here. A hell of a performance from Tyler Black. Would have been the main event. However, the main event, it is champion versus champion, and it's a double DQ. Falter and Will Hobbs. Referee finally calls it after, he's trying to be lenient. He's trying to make sure, someone is a winner in this matchup. And finally, it just gets to the point where it's just too much. He calls for the bell. What a win for Falter and Will Hobbs, though, in the end. Because they get a point. They both look strong. So from that perspective, it's a great idea, because really with this, you didn't want to have one of them lose. Obviously, if someone was going to win off of the in-ring performance ratings, Falter would have been the right call, but didn't need it. Didn't need it. Now, it being back-to-back draws on days, 25 and 26 might have been a little weird. However, at least these were 2 different draws. One's a time limit draw, one is just referee calls for the bell after, as far as there times where maybe could have called, DQ, maybe could have called a ring out, and he tried to keep being lenient, because he knows how important this is. I'm sure Tanahashi, has stressed to the officials, like, this is a big fucking show, this is my, first G1, we want this to come off without a hitch. You guys, don't be afraid to let these guys go at it. And then, as far as I forget who is the ref in this matchup, it does? Oh, Daisuke Kiso, as far as finally, Daisuke Kiso calls for the bell, and we get a draw. So, tough break, as far as maybe, I'm sure the fans would have loved to see a finish, but to see these 2 guys beat the piss out of each other for about 25 minutes, I feel like it's a bit of a wash, as far as in that regard. But a fun show. Obviously, the co-main event was the best thing on the card. Was incredible. Very, very fun match between Tyler Black and Katsuhiko Nakajima, and then we'll put over Falter. And for day 26, we're almost in the 30s, though. It's hard to believe. As now we're going into day 27 for Block C. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, with Blocks C and D, they have the injuries, so we have to kind of work around that. We won't have as many matches as far as block matches compared to the other 2. But it still should be some good shows, though. At least fingers crossed. Hopefully nobody else gets hurt, because that would be quite a bummer. That is for sure. Alrighty, so day 27, we have a mixed tag match actually to open up the show. A bit of a rarity. Usually we kind of save these for like a strong taping or something, but we have it here on the G1 of all places as far as to open up the show. Chris Statlander and John Silver, as far as they get the loss here, they take the loss to Makita and Barbara Cavanero. What a fucking team. A caveman and a Joshi pop star. What a team. As far as La Cabanera for Barbara Cabanero getting the submission victory over John Silver in 10 minutes. So that was 71. Actually did a lot better than anticipated. Now this would have been Shota Umino and Nakamura, but of course Nakamura hurt, so can't do that. Went with this tag match instead of Shota Umino and Eddie Kingston against Ren Narita and Kushida, which we're going to give Kingdom of Strong Style a win, as Kushida getting the submission victory over Eddie Kingston, which, yeah, I mean, Eddie, he's hanging on by a thread. Nothing more to really say there as far as that 54. Tough break. Sombra and Leono Fujinami, as far as to kick off the actual G1 portion of this show. It's Los Sombra getting the women's split like a corkscrew senton in 2015. Let's see, yeah, 86. Fujinami with 63, not great. As Rush in Kotobushi. As Kotobushi actually outperformed him. That's crazy. So I did not expect that at all. It's the Lonza for Rush in 21:32. It's a big win for Brusto to beat somebody like Kotobushi. So yeah, we knew this one was going to be a bit of a terrible bout. They don't click, but there's also terrible cheating. Now, the cheating was supposed to be Jay White, but he was going to overcome it. Konosuke to catch that. But it looks like he's cheated then won, and that is not what we wanted. We wanted the attempted to cheat Jay White, but Konosuke Takeshita overcomes it as Jay White, after cheating, as far as gets a chair after the ref bump, knocks Konosuke Takeshita with it, goes for the Blade Runner, gets countered, and lands on the chair. That's Jay White, and then then the wall to Takeshita. But it is what it is. If it wasn't for that terrible finish, at least the crowd would have liked it a little bit more. But still, not great. But at least we get a good little main event here with Rey Fenix and Shingo Takagi, thank God, as Rey Fenix with the Meteor on 26:04. So because of that match, it kind of threw everything else out of the loop. But, yeah, I mean, obviously it wasn't going to be a good match, but it wasn't going to be no 58, I know that much. But, my God, Rey Fenix, the savior of that show for sure, put over Sombra as well. And, man, I don't really know who else to put over, to be honest. This was kind of a bit of a show. Honestly, we're just going to give Maki Ito a hug. Thanks for showing up. Brutal. But on to Block D we go. We'll see how Day 28 runs. The next time we'll take a look at the standings will be after Day 32. So we'll go into the, the final week, or I guess it would be the final week, I guess, of shows before we get into the semifinals and finals. So just got basically, 5 more shows before we get to that point. And, yeah, I mean, so far, it's, at least the second part, no one's gotten injured. But as far as we still have more things to go. So, yeah, on to Day 28 we go. Alrighty, so Day 28 starts off actually with a Young Lion matchup. As Tetsuya Endo beating Hiroshi Miyoshi. Both guys really off their game. Pretty terrible way to start off the show, actually. Just, after 28 days, you start to just go, let's have a Young Lion match. Just to change it up a little bit. And that was a terrible idea. Absolutely terrible. But at least nobody got hurt. At least just try to look on the positive side of things. So this would have been, Claudio Castagnoli versus Shotaro Ashino. So, in the spirit of that, we went with Suzuki-gun versus Suzuki-gun matchup. As Yehai and Dominic Guarini actually get the win and beat Claudio Castagnoli and Hook. Which, they were the better team, funny enough. It's so weird that Hook's the worst guy in this match. But this is a technical masterclass matchup, which again, it's so weird that Hook is not great at those matches, which, again, really makes no goddamn sense, but it is what it is. It's Calvin Tankman beating Tetsuya Naito here, as far as the Tankman driver over Naito in 9:42. So, we knew that, obviously, Naito's not going to do great in this matchup, but they actually have pretty good chemistry, so at least that worked out. And got the crowd buzzing, too, so at least there's a little bit of momentum here going into the rest of the card. Brody King catches Kenta, as far as catches Kenta with the Gonzo bomb. in 1956. Drives him through the mat. They get still crazy. He's 20 points better than him. But, yeah, it's a good match, though. I wouldn't say, yeah, I guess it would be good. Good for everybody else. Decent for us. With a 78. And we have a injury here for Block C as well. Second one, as Miro with the game over in 23-39. Makabe's injury, taking a big toll on him. Looks like a ligament sprain. Not sure exactly where on the body, as I do not know the medical term of the... I wouldn't say that's near the coronary ligament sprain, because I know the coronary artery, but that's kind of towards the neck. That, I don't think he would have had a ligament sprain in his neck, so I don't know the medical term there, as far as the medical definition. Not the layman's terms for us normal people, as or the citizen role, as far as yeah, that's tough that Makabe gets hurt here. Well, at least Miro did well, but yeah, this show has been a bit of a swing and a miss for Block D. But at least the main event does well. And what a win for Ryu Lee, beating the New Japan Strong Openweight Champion in 27:07. Got the crowd hotter as well. It's a really good match. Unfortunately, the show stunk, but that main event's going to save it, and it's going to be an 88 because of that. So we are going to give big hugs to Moxley and Ryu Lee for saving this show. And then we'll give some... see if we should praise Kenta or praise Miro. Probably Kenta, to be honest. That was a better matchup. But man, Block D, another injury. Just fucking great. Just what we needed. As, yeah, now we're on to at least the last 2 shows for each block. So 8 shows left. And, man, it's now we have another injury to throw in a fucking wrinkle to Block D. We'll see how Block A does, as it's our final, at least, show of the 20s, and then we'll be into the 30s. And, man, before you know it, we'll be at the end of this goddamn thing. Alrighty, so, after a quick Google search, coronary, ligament sprain in the knee. Yeah, as far as, that makes sense, as far as having a sprain. Knee's always a good, an ankle, a knee, that's always a good call, as far as to guess what was sprained. But as far as the opening contest here, it is Top Flight versus the Divine Angels, as Archangel Divino and Angel Garza did pretty well, actually. They're still a little bit behind Top Flight here, as also Darius pitting Angel Garza in 18 minutes to outperform him, so it's a good win there, and Prentanata doing good work there, obviously, as the backer of House of Black. Did really well there. As, yeah, at the Akita Professional Baseball Stadium as well, which is 25,000, so almost a sellout. Much better opener than our previous show, as Pac and Jonathan Gresham have an absolute banger here, as a Shooting Star Senton from Pac in 25 minutes there. It's a good win, and Pac with 2 points, as Okan and Takuya Nomura with the Dragon Suplex in 12:10. Tough break for the new, as far as one of the newest members of Monstars University, losing to Takuya Nomura there. Bad Dragon Suplex for Takuya Nomura, even though he was severely outperformed. I wouldn't say maybe severely, that might be a bit harsh. But he was outperformed for sure. But Okan was visibly tired towards the end as well. He cannot really do steal the show matches. Not really in his wheelhouse. It's Juice Robinson, the Pulp Friction over Kazuchika Okada. Man, it's crazy that the first ever New Japan Cup, our first episode, well, I guess technically our second episode, but our first kind of booking episode, they had one of the best matches of the tour. It was like an 80. It was like, wow, look at how far they've come. And now, it's a 76, with Okada being worse than Juice Robinson now. And Juice has been on a pretty good run, actually, as of late here in this G1. Getting the one with the Pulp Friction beating somebody like Okada, which, of course, they had the Okada Justice rivalry, as far as way back when of this save now. But, now, of course, for the Peace, Love, and War, but Juice doing well. Gets the win there. And Hiromu Takahashi beating Yota Tsuji with a triangle choke. The win for the heavyweight champion there. 24 minutes. In a 94. Our main event, which actually did really well. As Zack Sabre Jr. and Kota Umeda both in the 90s. 93, though, for Zack Sabre Jr. and 90 for Kota Umeda. Umeda getting the win 30 seconds before the end of the time limit, getting the major victory in a 94 as well. Hell of a main event. Actually, a really good show. Both the main event and that first block matchup between Pac and Gresham. Really, really good stuff. As they definitely put over Umeda and Zach. And, yeah, Hiromu as well. Heavyweight champion did pretty well. I do say so myself. It's on to day 30 we go. Block B will go underway. Again, hopefully no one gets hurt here. Blocks A and B, they've been saved so far from injury. And we're almost at the end of it, so that'd just be great. Once we get to Block B, then to C and D, and then we're on the final 4 shows for each block. And we'll see how the semifinals and finals will be shaping up. Alrighty, day 30, as we have, as far as the sold-out Nagano Olympic Memorial Arena here, as Keith Lee and Levi Muir, as far as Monstars University taking on Oscar and Oleg, as, of course, the Monstars University team gets the win, which actually did really well as a team, 75 and 74, especially Keith Lee, man. I mean, he's up there. He's up there in age for sure, so especially at this time. He's already up there in age in, 2024, obviously, fast forward a couple of years. It's, Keith Lee, he gets the win, too, with the power slam in 8 minutes. Good stuff. Good stuff with Keith Lee. And Levi Muir, as, Falter, beating Lee Moriarty, even though Moriarty outperformed him. And, of course, the tournament standings for Block B are very, very interesting. It's a 3-man race, and Tyler Black and Will Hobbs and Falter. So this is very, very telling to see how this is going to play out going into their final shows. As, with Walter getting a win, that's going to keep him in the hunt. And we'll see Roderick Strong beat Evil here with a Stronghold, 1150. This is the Steal the Show matchup. As he gets a 76, 67 for Evil. So he did much better than Evil. It was a good match, though, somehow. I was not surprised. Or I am very surprised by that 80 overall. As a 94 for Tyler Black and Alex Coughlin. God's last gift for Tyler Black in 23-16. Which, again, as far as he was in the lead, he still is in the lead with this win. Unless, actually, yeah, with this win, he secured the first spot, at least for now, until the final day. But yeah, as far as Tyler Black having a hell of a G1, with another great match and another great win, and a great performance all the way around. It's a 93 for Hayata Tamura and Katsuhiko Nakajima, as Nakajima with the vertical spike in 25-34. What a win to beat Hayata Tamura. That is a massive little revenge win for Konosuke Takeshita as well with that win. Awesome stuff there. It's an 82. Thought this would be a lot better, hence why it was the main event. As Will Hobbs beats Pentagon Jr. with the order of business. Didn't expect both these guys to be below an 80. Wrong thing was on last, I know that much. My God, should have kept it with Tamura and Nakajima. Still an 84. But yeah, now as far as on the blocks C and D for 31 and 32, and then we'll be on to the final shows. Tyler Black, of course, will be praising him. He's been sensational, and then Nakajima and Tamura. Great stuff there. As on to Block C, we go. Alrighty, day 31. We have a Joshi matchup that started off as Suzuki taking on Himawari Unagi. As, man, Suzuki, one of the best Joshis we have. And she is tremendous. She gets a 76 here, as far as in this matchup against Himawari. But, yeah, gets the win in 935. We got to give her finishes, as well as, I gotta remember that, as Rush in the Demonic Bamba taking on Alex Shelley and Kushida. This would have been Rush and Nakamura, which that would have been a very, very fun match to have. Fortunately, of course, as far as Nakamura's hurt. But Rush with an 88, Demonic Mamba and Alex Shelley with a 74, Kushida on the 65. Kind of crazy that Shelley was the worst guy in the match. And also, it was supposed to be Rush beating Kushida, and somehow it ends up with Alex Shelley pinning Demonic Mamba with a Shirin Yu. Don't know how that happened, but there we go. What an upset for the Time Splitters. Let's go to Takeshita, beating Leona Fujinami with a wall of Takeshita in 1934. Takeshita with an 86-64 for Leona Fujinami. Great stuff there from him. As, yeah, tough break as far as Takeshita. Only, as far as getting this submission victory. As far as, it's crazy. I don't even think he's in, like, the top 3 for this block. He's been tremendous, though. throughout this tournament, but just, as far as picked up some heavy losses early on and just could never gain back that momentum. But as far as at least he beats Fujinami there. And Shigetakage and Kota Ibushi have a bit of a stinker as far as, to be honest, they're 61 of 57. Surprised this even got a 70. As Ibushi was really off his game. Shingo with a 61, he gets the win with the Made in Japan. This is a Steal the Show matchup at least, so at least it went short, but pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. They only got a 70. It's an 87 for La Sombra and Shota Umino, as Sombra getting the win in 22-22 with a split-legged corkscrew senton. Great stuff there from Sombra, who picks up his winning ways, which, as far as Rush automatically got 2 points, so it's a 2-point difference between Sombra and Rush. What a fun finals that shall be for Block C, because their match is left. That's the only match that's left for Block C as far as between those two men. So that's going to come down to either Rush beats them and it's a draw and they'll have to have a tiebreaker match, or Sombra wins and they'll go on to the semifinals. It's on 90 for our main event. Is what a win for Jay White here. An upset win over Ray Fenix with the Blade Runner in 26-13. Great win for Jay White. And all around, good performance from him. As far as with Ray Fenix mainly because of that 90. As with that show as as far as the show being an 88. Very, very surprised with that Time Slow's Rush Demonic Bomba match. That was really, really good. So I think we're going to put over Sombra, Ray Fenix, and Rush. No surprise, the fucking Luchadors again have really been the MVPs of Block C. They've really been one of the best performers throughout the entire tournament. As our final, as far as show for almost going into the final week, damn near, as we just have Block D's show here coming up this Saturday, and then we'll be into the go-home shows for each block, and we'll see who will go on to the semifinals and then to the finals. So on to Block D, away you go. Alrighty, so to build up to the finals of the New Japan Strong Women's Tag Team title matchup that's happening on the semifinal show, little trios of action here is the Four Horsewomen, at least 3 of them, and Ashley Flair, Becky, Knockout, Quinn, and Toni Storm taking on Hana Kimura, Starlight Kid, and Rina. Toni Storm pinning Rina with the strong zeros. Yeah, Becky, Knockout, Quinn. Best woman in the match. Starlight Kid and Hana Kimura, though, 72s. That's good stuff. I think it's going to be a pretty good match. Honestly, though, Toni Storm, Becky, Knockout, Quinn was probably going to be the better team, performance-wise. That's kind of weird. But, this is, so, a little kind of backstory here. As far as Hana Kimura, Starlight Kid, they had beaten the Triple Talon team of Io Shirai and Kairi Hojo at this Pat Strong taping, which they won due to interference from Jamie Hayter, as far as Jamie Hayter attacking Kairi Hojo after the matchup as it turns into 2-on-1 as they're brawling up the ramp. And, as far as Io Shirai 2-on-1 can't overcome it, loses. And as they, so the Strong taping goes off the air, as far as Jamie Hayter power bombing Kairi Hojo off the stage through a table. And as far as that was a fun kind of way to end it, as far as then to build up to that women's title matchup that's happening on the final show. But as far as, just wanted to do a little back, as far as a little build up to it. But yeah, that is the finals of that New Japan Strong Women's Tag Team title tournament, which should be a good one. Should be a good one to see who's the first ever tag champ. So that was a good match, though, in 81. As Takara Ito and Rex Steiner against Bushi and Naito, as this was going to be Naito versus, as far as Shotaro Shino, but fortunately now we have this tag match. And Naito, worst guy in the match, loses to Rex Steiner, or beats Rex Steiner, rather, which is something I hated doing. But I figured better have the guy that's in the G1 get the win here. Hurt my soul doing that, because Naito's just not there anymore. Especially, as far as he was the worst guy in the match. But at least he got out of that relatively unscathed. Makabe's injury, though, is brutal to deal with. Ryu Lee gets the win in 26-14, though. So that's 2 points for Ryu Lee. And a nice little matchup there. Brody King and Calvin Tankman here, as far as an 11-minute matchup. Surprised this wasn't better, but I guess both these guys, when you have that type of mass and have been running a tournament basically every day besides Wednesday. And, guys are working twice a week for basically a month and a half. It wears on you. And not only, as far as working 2 nights a week for a month and a half, grueling matches and high pace main event style heavyweight matches. Not good, not good on the body for sure. But at least Count Tengman gets 2 points there and picks up the victory as Miro beats Claudio Castagnoli. So this is a huge win for Miro, who then now part of Monstars University. He has a chance to win out on this block and be able to win Block D. Obviously, we have one more show left for each block now, but this is a massive victory to beat Claudio Castagnoli here. Not a great match, but hopefully we have a good main event, which we do. It's Jon Moxley and Kenta, which Kenta outperforms Jon Moxley in as far as in a 26-minute matchup, with Moxley getting the win over Kenta, which, as far as I'm assuming Moxley... Oh, he's declining physically now. Hey, well, there you go. Crazy how Kenta still is not. And he's definitely older than Moxley, so that's just kind of wild. But yeah, as far as a good main event, Kenta, the fucking savior of this show. Unreal. And so, we put him over. And we'll put over the women. I mean, the fucking Joshi Trios match, second best thing on the card. So, shout out those girls. As, we'll put over Hana Kimura and Becky Knockout Quinn. I feel like that's a good cause. And we'll keep it going here, because obviously now we're going to take a look at the tournament standings. As far as now we're going into each final show. We will see who will go on to the semifinals, and then who will obviously go on to the finals. And, man, this is going to be, put up or shut up time. For a lot of blocks, wouldn't be surprised if a good bit of blocks are already decided. I think Block D, with that win for Miro, he might have secured the block. But as far as for Block A, it's going to come down to a wild 3-person race. Because Kota Umeda, he's got Juice Robinson. If he beats Juice, he's winning. Pac, if he wins and Umeda loses, he goes on, and he's taking on Takuya Nomura. For Hiromu Takahashi, he's got to beat the Great Okan in hope. Well, even then, Kota Umeda beat him, so yeah, he's out of it. So, it is down to Umeda and Pac. So it's a 2-man race, actually. But Zack Sabre Jr. trying to get 10 points. Same thing for Okan. As far as Juice trying to get 10 points. Hiromu, obviously, trying to get to 12. And it's crazy that there's a potential only, there's a potential 5 people that are going to reach double digits for this block. And the worst being Gresham with 5. It's kind of crazy. And he could even finish with 7, so he might even finish ahead of people that have 6. So, Block A, Okada, hard to believe, 6 points. Not going to finish above double digits. That's got to be the first time in a long, long time. Let's just take a look, actually, as, so let's look at last year, see, because I want to say Okada finished with 9 last year, so he did finish below 10 last year. I know he got injured the year before that, I want to say. Maybe it was the 34th one? Damn. So I could have swore. Must have been the 33rd one. Yeah, that's what it was. But as far as, it's kind of crazy to think. He had 16, and that was the year I believe he won it. Then 35, of course he had 10, and then last year 9, and he's jumped down to the lowest he's been pretty much his career, which is wild to think. But as far as, so that's Block A. Block B, it is a 3-man race, and really, Tyler Black is in the driver's seat. He is controlling his destiny. Now he's got Hayato Tamura left, so that's a tough matchup. For Volter, he's got Alex Coughlin, and for Will Hobbs, he has Evo left. So obviously a Dark Order brethren there, and he's looking to make it to the finals again, but this time win it out. And obviously for him, this is a massive opportunity to be able to get back into the G1 Climax finals. Now, obviously it'd be a tough matchup no matter what, as far as Tyler Black, Volter, and Will Hobbs are looking at potentially fighting Umeda or Pac on the semifinals, or at the semifinals rather, not on it. But yeah, Moriarty, worst guy in the block, even evil. 4 points, 6 points for Nakajima and Coughlin. Pentagon Jr., Roger Strong. Obviously, there's still time left to change that. Tamura might finish with 10. More than likely, though, finishing with 8. We'll see, though. Once, once day 34, yeah, right? Yep, day 34 gets us. As then for Block C, La Sombra in the driver's seat. All his, but he's taking on Rush. We talked about this earlier. Rush is in control of his own destiny here. If he can beat Sombra, sure it'll be a tiebreaker, but obviously the tiebreaker win, he'll go on to the finals. Sombra wins, obviously he's going to win outright with 16 points, which is very, very impressive to think he only lost one time as the Ray Fenix. Of course, the man that, he attacked Hiromu at the press conference at Dominion, said he's going to be the first Mexican-born G1 Climax winner. He's got a chance to write that into the history books. All they got to do is beat Rush. As for Block D, Miro is, in fact, advancing. So he just flat out wins out because of a great G1. He only lost to Moxley, which is a tough break. Now, he does have Ryu Lee left, which is going to be tough as well. A lot of things for him. Obviously, he did beat Ashino, so that's kind of crazy as far as getting that win. Obviously, the turn of joining Monstars University, that helped him out tremendously. Calvin Tankman with 10 points as well. So, having 5 people, potentially 6, if Claudio gets a win over Tetsuya Naito, he'll finish with 11. That will be a really, really high number. It's crazy that Kenta had 5 points. Literally, as far as at the bottom of the table with him, Ashino, and Naito, and that's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Makabe with 6. Of course, he has his injury now. Brody King with 10. Super impressive. Of course, his tournament's over with because of, as far as, he was supposed to obviously fight Ashino on this final day. Now, not anymore. Calvin Tankman, though, he's got Moxley left, so that's going to be a big-time matchup. See if Tankman can potentially get a New Japan Strong Openweight title matchup in the future. But yeah, so Miro has an advantage for sure. He could potentially, when the match starts, just roll out of the ring, walk to the back, as far as not waste a sweat, not worry about getting injured or anything like that. Just go out there. And as far as get your guaranteed points and take on either Rush or Sombra in the semifinals. Because especially having that disadvantage of being on the final day, you get the least amount of rest. Whereas Block A and B, they get a ton of rest. Now, obviously, you get a bit of an advantage as far as having to take on the person that Block C is just the day before you. But it's going to be an interesting finals for Block A, for Block B, for C even. It's going to come down to the final matches. But for Block D, though, Miro has been set. He is set to go on to the semifinals. That's going to be interesting to very much see how that plays out. So on to the final days we go for each block. Alrighty, so the final block show for Block A, as we have to build up to the junior heavyweight title matchup between Daichi Hashimoto and Chaz Gable, as we're going to have a little tag team matchup here, as Sugata Taka Sato and Daichi Hashimoto taking on Hook and Chaz Gable. Tough one, because it could have went either way. Probably should have went with the Gable Hook team, but as far as Sato getting the win, the running elbow in 20 minutes, 1952 to be exact. But actually, a really good match in 84. I'll gladly take that. That junior heavyweight title matchup is going to be really good, though, as far as from the looks of it. In 88 and 87. That's a good sign there. As Yota Tsuchi and Zack Sabre Jr., they have great chemistry here, as which is kind of wild that we accidentally put it as the Steal the Show match. As far as actually, hopefully everything's in order here, because it might not actually be in order now that I think about it. It should be, though. I think I just fucked this one up. But yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. gets the win of the European Clutch in 12:24. Definitely now going forward, we know that they're going to have great chemistry, so we're going to put that match a little bit higher. Yeah, because this was the technical masterclass matchup as Gresham and Okada. Here's Kazuchika Okada with a Haju Bomb in 18 minutes gets the win over Jonathan Gresham. Tough break for Gresham, but a win though for Kazuchika Okada nonetheless. As an 83 for Pac, so he does his part. Now we'll see as far as that's an 83, as well as Pac beating Takuya Nomura 24-28 with a 630. So he has done his part. Now we'll see if Juice can do his, or will Cody Umeda make it to the semifinals. But before we get to that, though, as far as the heavyweight champion, the heavyweight champion, Hiromu Takahashi loses to the Great Okan in 29-13. Gets caught with a Cobra Clutch, and that is it for him. Taps out, and as far as losing on the final night is Big Tough. As far as for Hiromu, though, had a great G1. Very, very pleased by his performances throughout this G1. He's been tremendous. Just comes up short here at the end. But our main event, we see it is in fact Pac. As thanks to Juice, some dirty tactics here. First, Brass Knucks in the tights. Tries to get a quick win with the Pulp Friction, as far as clocking him with it and then going into it. But Umeda actually blocks it, counters it, and smacks it out of his hands. It goes flying. Referee doesn't see it, though. And then, after that whole fiasco, as far as Cody Umeda even goes for, it gets a false finish. Juice is kind of signaling to the back. But he's, on the ground. He's, looking towards the entrance and just kind of waving his hands. And it's Maki Ito. Maki Ito running out. As far as it gets behind Cody Umeda, as Umeda's trying to get, she sneakily, as far as, goes underneath, kind of ducks under, and, kind of walks her way over towards Cody Umeda's side. Pulls on the boot, distracts Umeda enough time for Juice to attack from behind. Pulp Friction gets the win, thanks to the interference. Tough break for Cody Umeda, but he's got nothing to be ashamed of. It's a great win for Juice, though, to beat somebody like Cody Umeda. But, he did great in this G1. Juice was really... It's crazy, again. We started this in 2020. Here in 2027, he's, doing better than he did in the beginning. He's been tremendous, which is kind of weird to say, because usually a lot of people would be like, yeah, that makes sense for someone like a Dante Martin, or, some of the younger talent. But Juice was, in his prime already, so it's just kind of weird to think about it from that perspective. But yeah, Juice gets the win, and Pac will be going on to the semifinals. So we know Pac has won Block A. We already know Miro, of course, has won Block D. So now we're going to figure out who will be joining those two men for Blocks C and D. As we'll put over, as far as Cody Umeda, Juice, and Pac, of course. Big hug for Pac. Actually, let's go, we'll put over Umeda, and we'll put over Hiromu. Alrighty, so day 33 in the books. On to day 34, we go. Alrighty, so for day 34, little build-up to the heavyweight title matchup that's happening on the semifinal night, which I know was kind of weird to say, as far as having the heavyweight title matchup be on the semifinal show, but I wanted to really jam-pack both the semifinal and the final night, and I felt like that was a good idea. Now, Okada gets the first shot because he was the first one to beat him during the G1, so that's why that title match is happening first, as Hiromu and Kirishia losing to Keisuke Okuda and Kazuchika Okada, as Keisuke Okuda getting the submission victory with the cross armbar in 1939, as it got the show off a strong start, and it got the crowd hotter too, so that was a good call there. Katsuya Nakajima with the vertical spike over Roderick Strong. A hell of a G1 for Nakajima, though. Very, very pleased with his performances. And Roderick Strong, too, for, veterans of the sport. Over 20 years for both guys at this point. And just, the tremendous stuff, to be honest. To be still in the 70s and 80s. Those guys really brought it. Lee Moriarty with the loss here to Pentagon Jr., even though he outperformed him. As far as Lee Moriarty... had a fun G1 now, because he's the only one, depending on what happens in our main event with Tyler Black and Naoya Tamura, potentially he's the only one to have beaten Tyler Black. So that could be quite telling, for sure, for Lee Moriarty. We'll see, though, as far as, maybe tomorrow will join that list as well, but that's an 80 for the Pentagon Jr. Lee Moriarty matchup. And Will Hobbs beats Evil at the Order of Business in 22-10. So the U.S. champ beats his Dark Order brethren there. And so now, as far as he gets the win, he needs a loss for Tyler Black. And, well, he also would like to have a loss for Walter. But as far as Walter, he's taking on Alex Coughlin here in our co-main event. And how about that? What an upset. Coughlin beats Walter. Not only beats him, taps him out with the STF in 24-13. And they will actually have their never openweight title matchup at the semifinals. So that's a quick turnaround for Walter and Coughlin. But, as far as, again, Walter, that's his only loss during this tournament, was to Coughlin and Tyler Black. But as far as now, the C for Tyler Black, he, in fact, has a draw. So, doesn't beat him. What's a fun finish here is this draw. Tamura jackhammers him with like 29:55 left, right? Slams him down. Hooks the leg as it's counting down to the seconds, 2:58, 1, 2:59, as far as 29:59, 2, and then right at 3, time expires, then hits the 3 count, does the referee, and Tyler Black survives to win Block B, and he'll be taking on Pac in the semifinals. Now, boy oh boy, Tamura, tough heartbreak there. I mean, to be able to potentially beat Tyler Black would have been huge. Obviously for Will Hobbs, heartbreaking for him, because if obviously Tyler Black would have won, he would have made it back to the semifinals against Pac and could have had a chance to go back to the finals, even as the U.S. champ. But unfortunately for him, thanks to 1 second, Tyler Black has made it to the semifinals, and he'll be taking on Pac at that show, which a hell of a main event, though. I figured it was going to be a great match, and it definitely was. Tyler Black, I mean, he's been incredible this G1. Cannot praise that man enough. He's been fantastic. And Lee Moriarty, get a hug. I mean, listen, if, as far as, sure, he might not have finished so highly compared to somebody else and some of the other guys, he was the only man who beat Tyler Black, so that at least is something that is very, very huge to think of. And now, as far as we'll be seeing who's going to join Miro for the other side of the semifinal matchups, as far as Block C, we will see who will be making it on to the semifinals. Will it be Sombra, or will it be Rouge versus Miro? We will find out next. Alrighty, so day 35, as we have for our opening contest, since Juice Robinson screwed over Cody Yamada, felt like we could have a little trios matchup here on this tour show as far as for the final G1 show for Block C, and they get the win, Peace, Love, and War. They beat the Diamond K team, which Diamond K, much better team. Katsuhiko Nakajima and Cody Yamada did better than everybody on the other team. Juice, just, as far as he outperformed Kato Crusher, and Barbaric Cavanero barely did, and then Caveman Oog, nowhere close to anybody in this matchup. He probably should have been the one to lose, but hey, it was still a really, really good opener. 91, did not expect that at all. As then we have Shota Umino versus Leono Fujinami, as Fujinami gets the win with the Fujinami armbar, 2 in 20 minutes and 12 seconds. What a win! What a win! Did not, as far as, I figured Fujinami at least be in the 60s, or at least closer to Shota Umino there, so that's a bit of a tough break. And, Nakamura's back, even though we already had him, as far as took him out of the tournament, at least the listing, we basically, because, he was going to lose this matchup anyways, felt like, hey, we might as well just have it since he's back to 100%. He loses to Shingo Takagi here, even though Shingo 10 points worse than Nakamura. Tough break there. As a 79 for Kota Ibushi and Jay White, as Jay White gets the one with the Blade Runner at 21:44. And then our co-main event, the Intercontinental Champion Konosuke Takeshita beating Rey Fenix 26:30 with the Wall of Takeshita. In our main event, to determine the winner of the block, La Sombra and Rouge, as Sombra wins with the split-legged corkscrew senton at 29:06. What a win, what a main event, 96 there. And what a show, having a 90, 91, even with the opener, and that 96 for the main event. Now, for this day 36, we're actually not gonna. You guys are not going to see it, because everyone already knows Miro's won the block. So just to save time, we're gonna not show that. What we're then gonna do is then go into the semifinals and then the finals, obviously. And before we do that, as far as that, we'll put over Cody Umeda, I guess. Trying to think of who was the third guy we want to put over. The actual shows, they look like this. As so you see, the finals will be Tyler Black versus Miro. So that will, of course, mean the semifinals of La Sombra in Miro and Pac and Tyler Black. Tyler Black will beat Pac, and then Miro's going to beat La Sombra. IWGP Heavyweight Title matchup, Kazuchika Okada versus Hiromu. It's crazy that this is not the main event, but this match will definitely do better. So felt like we could go with that. And then to crown our first ever New Japan Strong Women's Tag Team Champions, Ashley Flair and Becky Quinn versus Hana Kimura and Starlight Kid. Then New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Title matchup, Brody King and Jay White versus Katsuki Nakajima and Kenta. Never Openweight title matchup as well as Walter and Alex Coughlin. Alex Coughlin on the wrong side. As let's go ahead and fix that. That's a bit silly. There we go. Alex Coughlin. Nice. So Rush and Shinsuke Nakamura, since this match never happened, because of Nakamura's injury, now he's back to 100%. Figure this would be a fun match to have on the undercard. And then Heihachi Tamura and Kyle O'Reilly of Dragon's Den taking on the Lucha Brothers. This is the build-up to the Never Openweight 6-man tag team title matchup of the Bomb Squad versus Task Force Death. So the G1 Climax finals, of course, we already talked about the finals and Tyler Black and Miro. Intercontinental title matchup, Kota Ibushi versus Konosuke Takeshita. Junior Heavyweight title matchup, Daichi Hashimoto, Chaz Gable, which we've been building up to. And, of course, Takeshita and Ibushi. Reason why that's happening is, of course, Ibushi beat Takeshita during the G1. IWGP Tag Team Title Matchup, as I forgot to put champion, there we go, as the champions, Jonathan Gresham and Daniel Makabe, take on the IWGP US Champion, Will Hobbs and Calvin Tankman. Of course, the IWGP Women's Title Matchup, Jamie Hayter, Kairi Hojo. New Japan Strong Openweight Title Matchup, Claudio Castagnoli versus Jon Moxley. And we also forgot to put the championship thing beside Task Force Death. So, yes, so that is that as far as for the plans and what we're going to do. So day 36, really the biggest thing of note is Miro's actually going to DQ himself. Basically right when the bell sounds, just like a rabid animal on Ryu Lee, but he's not, holding up. Once he gets a chance to take him down and lay him out, actually, before even the bell rings, while Ryu Lee is still making his entrance in the ring, attacks him from behind, and, just kicks and stomps away, gets a chair shots, and finally just gets DQ'd. The referee's trying to get a hold of the match, but, Miro's not having any of it, so that's what we're going to do, and basically a little post-show press conference with Monsters University as well with that show, because they haven't, really had their chance to speak, really, with the new additions, obviously, of Miro, and basically for Miro to say why he did it, why he's joined Monsters University. And really for him, he feels like this is now tapped into an untapped potential for him. He's finally reached that point. And it's kind of funny how that's worked out, though, as far as, because, he's now been with the company for 5 years? Probably 2013 is when we signed him. Yeah, I thought so. Oh, it was actually sooner than, oh wow, 2021, wow. So he's been with the company for, as far as, from a full year perspective, because I think he joined, he joined, his first match was Wrestle Kingdom. That's what I thought. So yeah, he's actually been with us a lot longer than I thought. So he has been, this would be technically his 8th year. So in 7 years, this is now his biggest accomplishment, and what he's built up to. He's 42. He feels like it was now or never. Felt like, the House of Torture was holding him back. Saw the opportunity, and the opportunity came knocking to him, and he took it. And I think also, too, that group, the fucking Monstars, the Monstars University, man, like, just a bunch of big motherfuckers. You got Okan and Kitamura there, as Miro and Yoshiki Inamura, Joe and Keith Lee, like just a bunch of and even Levi Miura. I mean, he's not huge, but I mean, from a shoot perspective, yeah, fucking it was set records in Olympic during for powerlifting in the Olympic trials, which is crazy, absolutely insane. But it's just a big motherfucker, but not like on the just from a sheer like power perspective. Not like some of these guys like I guess Joe's not really a big guy either. Because Joe might be 6'1". Might be. Because like Keith Lee's not really tall either. But they're just, the wide bodies. And, as far as for the Monstars Universe, it's a fun little group. A bunch of fucking big heavy hitters in there. It's a hoss factory, if you will. But yeah, as far as with the tournament, of course, with Miro, of course, he'll still end out with 14. Moxley, of course, we'll see what he can do if he can get to 13 at least to make it close. But Riley's actually going to jump up to 12 because of that, and obviously Brody King and Brody King's stuck at 10, so Tankman can potentially finish with 12 to at least be pretty close to the top. But yeah, that's us. So as far as now, the next time you see us, it's kind of funny you're not going to see the actual final day, but it's not really necessary now that everyone knows what's going on. It feels like that's the best case scenario for this. Because it's already going to be a long episode, so we might as well, if we can cut out some of the not needed parts, probably for the better for everybody involved. So yeah, on to the semifinals we go. Alrighty, the semifinals, the G1 Climax here in front of 25,000 people. It sucks that we're not going to have a giant, as far as venue, even for the finals where we're going to be running the brand new Antonio Inoki Super Arena. It's because of how many shows we've ran. We've just ran through Japan as far as I wanted next year in the 2028 G1 Climax. I'll definitely the plan at least is to do more of a global tour and to really hit everywhere. To not only just run it in Japan, run it in America. Start kind of as far as go like U.S., Mexico, Canada, to the UK, and then probably even just, like Germany, and maybe even like, I don't even know where else we'd run besides Germany, because, I mean, really anywhere, in any kind of football stadium, because it will be in the summer, so just as far as any major, I would love to be able to run, like, Paris, that would be great, as far as, as far as I think, because Paris would have like, Barcelona would be cool, and Milan would be cool, but I'm not, crossing my fucking fingers on that, but that's just the idea, go to Europe, and then go from Europe to, probably Australia, and then to Japan. That would probably be the goal, but it's tough, because there's just so much going on. That would be a crazy tour, but I think we could do it with the roster we have. But anywho, as far as for that's the future, the now, though, for the 2027 G1 Climax, the semifinals, starts off, little build-up matchup, and a little, as far as getting some momentum, Hera Tamura and Kyle O'Reilly beating the Lucha Brothers. What a win, and what a matchup, though, to kick off the show. Both teams, excellent chemistry, and even, Tamura and Danielson have, good chemistry, got the show off to a strong start. Yeah, Ray Phoenix with a 97, 91 for Tamura, 85 for Pentagon Jr., O'Reilly with a 77, but Tamura with the Hayato driver over Pentagon Jr. As the Rush Shinsuke Nakamura matchup, as Rush with the Lalanza. Now, actually, as far as the match, if it would have taken place during the G1, Nakamura would have won that match. However, here, yeah, I felt like it was a good idea to have Rush win. He's going to outperform him, which he does here, and he gets the one with the Lalanza in 2010. That's an 81, though. Or 89, rather, excuse me, as far as, it was better than I anticipated. A 70 for Alex Coughlin and Volter, as, we needed a technical masterclass matchup on the card, and I didn't want it to be the opener, which was definitely a mistake. Should have just had that be the opener, because now this match stunk. Because really, Volter, again, just not really great technically, and that was just a mistake on my part. Probably could even have this be the Steal the Show matchup, and I think it would have went over just fine. Having those guys just kind of beat the fuck out of each other. But Volter getting the win, and that's his first defense of the Never Openweight title, so he gets his win back over Coughlin. And then Brody King and Jay White losing to Katsuhiko Nakajima and Kenta, as Nakajima with a vertical spike over Brody King, which what a feat that is. But yeah, Kenta, Nakajima, better than Brody King and Jay White. It was a good little match, and that's their third defense of their New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team titles. And then for the first of two semifinal matchups, so Lo Sombra and Miro, they don't click. I think a lot of people probably would have suspected a Rush Miro semifinals instead because of that. However, I liked Sombra winning his block. Losing, unfortunately, to Miro, because obviously I think a lot of people also too, with the momentum he kind of got attacking Hiromu and cutting the promo as far as he's going to be the first, as far as Mexican-born G1 winner, and falls short, unfortunately, but he had a damn good G1. He outperformed Miro here a crazy amount, but the idea here was he wasn't going to win with a bullplex. He was going to win that super kick, that Savat kick that he does, and it was going to knock him out. Kind of that idea where he just knocked him out cold, and after he, super kicks him, puts him in the game over, but he's knocked out. So, as far as he's basically wins by knockout, yeah, but, the ref, he's trying to, count the submission, but he's knocked out. So it's just has to go to the arm instead of asking him, and obviously he's not going to tab. He's knocked out, so a fun little finish. It's something different, because we knew it was not going to be a good match because of the chemistry. We had to put it a little bit lower on the card, but that's a nice way of kind of hiding it, though, to have something like that where it's an out-of-nowhere finish like that. But the first ever New Japan Strong Women's Openweight Tag Team titles, the finals here of the tournament, and to crown the first winners, it's Becky, Knockout Quinn, and Ashley Flair. They beat Starlight Kid and Hana Kimura. Yeah, I mean, Ashley Flair, not great here. I think Ashley's getting worse and worse over time. Yeah, she's declining physically, so's Becky, but, I mean, Becky did well, but, gone are the days where she was the best Joshi that we had, by far. Now it's, Io, but at least Starlight Kid did well. So that's a positive there. But yeah, tough break for the Tokyo Cyber Squad. But a fun little tag match, though. It's nice that the women have a belt besides the women's title, so that's nice. Kazuchika Okada and Hiromu, the heavyweight title matchup. Hiromu gets his win back, and it's his fifth defense as he beats Kazuchika Okada with the time bomb. And now we'll see who will be facing off against Miro come the finals. Obviously, we know it's Tyler Black, but a hell of a matchup here. 99, two men with great chemistry. Knew was going to deliver in a big, big way. 34 minutes, two gave him a lot of time. Tyler Black with 100, Pac with a 97. Hell of a match. Hell of a match. And afterwards, post-show press conference with a exhausted Tyler Black. But as far as, he's positioned himself in a perfect position to not only win this G1 for the House of Black and what he has accomplished, but to know that he is going to join a long list of incredible, as far as talents that have won this G1, but he wants to do something that really, a fucking Gaijin that goes on to win the G1 and win in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. That's what he wants. He wants to finish it. He wants to be a guy. Listen, he's main evented of WrestleMania. Well, I guess he did main event. Now, obviously, here that we're recording, he has done it. But as far as obviously when we started this save, he didn't main event. He did the run-in, the cash-in mid-match. But I guess you could technically say at least he ended it as a heavyweight champion. To be able to do that on both Wrestle Kingdom and WrestleMania would be kind of cool. As far as obviously the thing that no one has done before. So he's chasing history with that kind of regard. And the other post-show press conference is the Four Horsewomen celebrating winning and becoming the first ever tag champs, and how the Four Horsewomen they conquered the U.S. Now they're conquering the world. They've I think another piece of the collection, for the 4 horsewomen. Man, Ashley Flair, though, won the women's title, first New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Champ for the women's side. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. As a hell of a show, though. Hell of a show. Hell of a match with Pac and Tyler Black, obviously. Very, very pleased with them. And now, as far as, obviously we're going on to the finals. Not sure who I want to put over. Oh, yeah, Hiromu. Yeah, and then, Hiromu is waiting in the wing. Will he be taking on Miro? Or will he be taking on Tyler Black at Wrestle Kingdom? Of course, he still has, some heavyweight title matches and still has to defend his belt. And also, whoever wins the King of Pro Wrestling as well is just Hiromu is a very, very much a marked man. As on to the finals we go. And the final show for this episode, the 2-part episode, will come to a conclusion. Finally, we get to end out this G1 Climax. After fucking 38 shows, we're gonna do it. Alrighty, as far as in the brand new Antonio Inoki Super Arena, which severely under capacity, but that's alright. We taped it off as far as we've made it to where it doesn't look like there should be 100,000 people, as far as sitting-wise. We taped off, kind of the upper section and all that other, fun jazz to at least make it look like it's like a 50,000 seat arena. That's just, 44,000 people are in it as we kick off the show with the Never Openweight 6-man tag team title matchup as Task Force Death successfully retained their championships as Pentagon Jr. with the cross armbar over Roderick Strong. That's their second defense of the Never Openweight 6-man tag team titles. Tamura does sprain his elbow, the MCL sprain, so that's tough. Luckily, we have at least a little bit of time layover between King of Pro Wrestling and as far as now, obviously the G1 Climax Finals, but another injury because of this fucking G1. But Pac, phenomenal, 96, Ray Fenix at 91, and even even Pentagon Jr. with an 83, so the Lucha Brothers did well, Pac does well, and of course Tamura. All the way around, I think this should have been a little bit better. I think it's because of the injury, if I had to guess. Heard it as, oh, no, it doesn't say. Oh, it does, yeah, there it is, yeah. So that sucks that the injury fucked up that opener. And it was Ray Fenix who caused it, just great. So the 80 for the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title matchup. So, the Tide Splitters, since we inadvertently gave them a win, and a big win during this tour, it's like, well, we might as well give them a Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title matchup with Dante Martin and Rob Eagles because of that. And, it was a good little match. Kushida, it's still crazy that Shelley is still better than Kushida here, because Kushida's a little bit younger, obviously. You figured he'd be the better of the two, but, Shelley, he outperformed Rob Eagles, which was just, again, crazy, but Dante Martin and Rob Eagles getting the win for the House of Black. We'll see if Tyler Black will join them in victory tonight, but yeah, it's their first defense of the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, as Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli. Boy, this fucking G1 Finals has been pretty brutal so far. We've had an injury in the opening contest. We now have, Moxley's off his game, which this hurts the match. He gets the win, though. The Death Rider in 25-16. That's his third defense of his New Japan Strong Openweight title as well. As an 82 here for the women's title matchup between Kairi and Jamie Hayter, which did really well, actually, as this is her 14th defense. She has been booked all over the world. AEW, Oz, a little bit of CMLL, Ring of Honor, Rev Pro. It's like she's been all over the world defending her belt. She's only defended it like 2-3 times for us, which is, I guess, a lot when you think about she's held the belt since Wrestling Dutaku, right? As far as when she beat Mecha Arita, but yeah, wild that she's had such a crazy long reign here so far. She's looking good, though. She's looking good. Gets the win over Jamie Hayter there. And the Order of Destruction falls short to the Makabe Gresham team. Of course, this would have been even better if Makabe wasn't hurt. But he gets the win, though. And he beats Will Hobbs with the Makabe lock. Gets a submission victory in 25-56. What a win for the undersized IWGP Tag Team Champions. As Gresham and Makabe pick up the victory as far as 49 Empire. And as far as Gresham was almost hurt as well. So that's just fucking great. So 92 for the junior heavyweight title. Matchup here between Daichi Hashimoto and Chaz Gable. The man who beat Daichi Hashimoto for his championship reign, as far as and started his reign way back when, now loses here to Daichi Hashimoto at the Nintendo Inoki Super Arena, with Hashimoto getting the win, the vertical drop brainbuster. What a match. So far the best thing on the card, which is no surprise really. These two have been phenomenal, and man, Chaz Gable, what a run he's had as the junior heavyweight champion. Was looking for that 8th defense, but falls short here. You know, very pleased with both guys, though. Both guys' performances were great. In the Intercontinental title matchup, it's an 85. It's Konosuke Takeshita beating Kota Ibushi with the wall of Takeshita. That's his 2nd defense, so he gets his win back after losing to Ibushi during the G1. In our main event, Tyler Black versus Miro. Tyler Black with God's Last Gift in 33:04. He has won the G1 Climax Year 2027 winner, Tyler Black. As, yeah, what a phenomenal G1 he had. Tough break for Miro to come, fall short there in the main event. As a post-show press conference, we have a delated Prince Nana in, the House of Black with, of course, Tyler Black, and just hoisting him up in the ring, waving the House of Black flag, and they, as far as heading to the back for their press conference, and Prince Nana just is like, this is what the best in the world looks like. This is what money well spent looks like. The investment in the House of Black. It was about getting him the best training, the best nutrition, all this kind of horseshit that he's spending, as far as basically thinking that his money is the reason why Tyler Black is now in this position. But really, for Tyler Black, he, again, is looking for history to be made. He's won this G1, and now he's going to main event Wrestle Kingdom and win the IWGP Heavyweight title, and be the first guy to do it. So that's going to be massive. And for him, again, just to win and walk out of Wrestle Kingdom the same way he walked out of a WrestleMania as the heavyweight champion. Not a lot of people could say it, and because no one could say that they've done that. But yeah, this is, just a phenomenal match for him, and a phenomenal G1 for Tyler Black, and as far as Prince Nana, very, very pleased with that. Which we don't even have him in the House of Black for some reason. I don't know why. I just never realized that. Because he should be in the House of Black. But Daichi Hashimoto, very, very grateful for, as far as to be able to win this heavy, the junior heavyweight title again, and to win it at the Nintendo Inoki Super Arena. Because, of course, obviously, thinking of the lineage from Inoki to, as far as he helped, obviously train Daichi Hashimoto, his father, of course, Shinya Hashimoto, and for Hashimoto, what, kind of Inoki did in the 90s for him, and how to be able to kind of come full circle and to win it tonight for his dad, and for Antonio Inoki. He's doing this for strong style, for Daichi Hashimoto tonight, and he does. He gets the win, and that's a fun little moment for Daichi Hashimoto there, as he, of course, now the junior heavyweight champion once again for the 2nd time in his career. As for Daniel Makabe, as far as him and Gresham talking about their successful retain, and just as far as how they, they've proven time and time again, just because everyone underlooks what they can do size-wise, they, or I guess overlook, not underlook, but, they look past them for their size, and figured no one gave them a chance tonight, but they proved that technique can beat size and strength. And as far as with him specifically, and Daniel Makabe, he just beat the U.S. champion, figures that he can beat him in a singles matchup as well, so he challenges Will Hobbs for a U.S. title matchup, which will be taking place at the King of Wrestling. And then, so during all this, as they were preparing for the press conference for Miro, House of Torture, attack Miro, attack him, and as far as Brody King and Sue George putting the boots to him, and Jay White, runs to the camera and brings it closer and said, this is what happens. You cross the House of Torture, nobody does this. We're going into a new era for him, as far as for House of Torture. For Jay White, he says that this is, this betrayal, something he never expected from Miro, because he saw the bright lights, he saw the glamour, he saw the prestige of trying to win this G1, and what's he get? Nothing. He falls short. He couldn't do what he's done, and in Jay White. As far as for him, also says Tanahashi better hope that both these guys qualify for the King of Pro Wrestling, because he wants Miro anytime, anywhere, but specifically, obviously, he's wanting to be able to win the King of Pro Wrestling in the face Hiromu for the heavyweight title. So a little build up to the King of Pro Wrestling as far as alluding to a potential Miro Jay White gimmick match, as far as obviously, since if they do qualify, that will be the case. 100, though. Shocking. Only one thing was above a 97, and yeah, I would not have suspected that show being 100, but that's what we get for having a great main event, I guess. Again, man, this is, the Antonio Inoki Super Arena was fun to run it. Sucks that because we ran so many shows, it like, dilutes it, because obviously we did not run, like, Kanto, like, at all, besides the first week, so it'd be, like, a month or so without running a show in Kanto, and obviously everyone would have wanted to show up for this brand new arena and the brand new stadium for this G1 Climax Finals, and it was a great finals for sure. I think the G1 itself, I thought it was a pretty successful show. We had a lot of great moments, but man, the winner being Tyler Black, I think that's very fitting. I thought he was the MVP for sure. I thought he was tremendous. Come here, you son of a bitch. Give him a hug. I mean, of course, Miro getting that big-time opportunity to main event a G1 Climax Finals, and to be in the first ever main event, too, of the Antonio Inoki Super Arena. Pretty wild. And Konosuke Takeshita did very, very well against Ibushi. Just Ibushi didn't do so well. But that will do it for this episode. The two-parter is done and over with. Or, God, as far as 38 shows in the books. Thank you all for watching. And we will catch you guys next time for the King of Pro Wrestling Tournament, as we will find out who will be taking on Hiromu Takahashi at Wrestle Dynasty in America. Take care, everyone.